Taliban arrests men for haircuts and missing mosque prayers. In a chilling display of authoritarian control, the Taliban are arresting men across Afghanistan for daring to trim their beards or miss mosque prayers, according to a new report from the United Nations. Barbers have been jailed for giving non compliant haircuts, while others are detained simply for skipping Ramadan prayers. These morality laws, enforced by over 3,300 inspectors, have devastated small businesses and deepened Afghanistan's economic crisis. Despite global outrage, Taliban Supreme Leader Hibatullah Akhundzada, I'm going to make a comment on that in a second, doubled down, declaring it necessary to, quote, establish a society free from corruption and prevent further generations from becoming victimized by misguided beliefs. One thing I want to say is the supreme leader, whose last name I've seen it translated as both Akhundzada and Akhundzade, which, if that's true, that means his last name is literally son of a mullah.
Yes, Akhundzada means born of a mullah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anyone's gonna be your supreme leader of a Islamic emirate, I guess that's the name to have. Um, just wanted to point
Yeah.
that out. So anyways, what's been happening is the these
By the way,
inspectors.
one of the
Go
worst
ahead.
insults in Islam is harumzadeh,
Yeah.
which means bastard, because zadeh means born of, harum means haram, so born off of haram acts means you're a bastard. But yeah, go on.
Mhm. That's why, like, the name for prince is like Shahzadeh, like born of a king.
Shahzadeh means born of a king. Yes, Shahzadeh means prince. Good. Yes.
So basically what's been happening is that they are doing these things, especially during Ramadan, where they were mandating attendance at prayers, and this was closely monitored, and they were like detaining people that didn't show up. So there in this report, it was saying that small businesses like education centers, barbers, hairdressers, tailors, like restaurants, we're having this giant drop of income because they're forcing like all these men to leave work to go do prayers, especially for like small businesses or maybe just like a, what do you call it when it's just like your single person business. Um and so they're saying like that's going to make, the general economic situation even worse. And but what I found interesting was this idea of arresting people for non-compliant haircuts, because I don't know what that could be. Non-compliant beard length or hairstyle, or barbers providing non-compliant beard trimming or haircuts. Now, non-compliant beard length makes me have a question. Is it too long? Is it not long enough? If it's not long enough, what are you supposed to do about it if you just can't grow a big beard? Some men just cannot grow a beard. What is that the problem? It's not big enough? Or is it
Well,
too
you're
big?
allowed. No, that would be accepted as an excuse, just like one of the ex-presidents of Iran, Rafsanjani.
Mhm.
The people who can't grow a beard, they're called sharks. They call them kuse, right? So
What?
this is one of the most yeah,
Wait, what?
this is one of the most yeah. Look at this. This is Rafsanjani.
Yeah.
This is the ex-president in Iran, and he was one of the sharks because he could never grow a beard, and he's a mullah without a beard because he couldn't grow it. It's allowed not to have a beard if you can't grow one. So this is Rafsanjani and Khamenei next to each other.
But why
Rafsanjani
why
used to be more hmm,
sorry, go ahead.
powerful than Khamenei, by the way,
Yeah.
but that's another story. Yeah,
Well, maybe he was assassinated, but that's neither here nor there. Um,
he was.
but why are they called sharks though? Why a
I don't
shark?
know. I don't know.
Because sharks
In
are
Iran, they
smooth?
say the bravest. Maybe, yeah, I think so.
Like
In
continue
fact,
with
in
that
Iran,
joke.
there's a comment saying that the bravest woman in the world is the wife of Rafsanjani because every night she sleeps next to a shark. That's what some Iranians say. I don't know. I don't know.
That's funny. Is it because
Weird
you know,
thing.
like I don't know. I think of like a dolphin. We think of dolphins as like very smooth. I don't know.
I don't know. Smooth skin. I don't know why they call
That's
them
silly.
sharks. Yeah, yeah.
So, anyways, I have a question about what does it mean to have a non-compliant beard length? What Armin? What
Um,
do you think a non-compliant hairstyle could be?
hairstyle. I don't know, but there's a lot of hadith. So for example, we have hadith Sahih Bukhari saying trim the mustache and let the beard grow.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're not supposed to. So apparently, we have the hadith in Islam says like that's why sometimes you see some Muslims, their beard is like the ones who are very religious. So some semi-religious Muslims, they have beard, but you could see that they keep it nice and
they trim it,
they cut it, they trim it.
they
But
groom
then
it.
the very religious, yeah, they groom it. But some very religious Muslims, you could see that their beards are just poking out of weird places. It's because of these hadiths. Because like if you're trimming, the only part that you could trim is the mustache. The beard, you just should not touch it. You should just let it grow, right, in any directions. And then we have
Yeah.
another Sahih Muslim that says, cut the mustache short and leave the beards. So we have both Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. These are authentic hadiths that says that you should not be touching the beard.
Apparently, there was a because we know that like Taliban can sometimes act more regionally. You know, like it's not completely top down
Hmm.
standardized. In 2021, there was this one region, this one province, Helmand, that banned barbers from trimming the beards. So they were like saying you're not allowed to even trim the beard. So maybe that's part of what the non-compliance is. Can I say though, one thing about Islam that does not get enough criticism is the going beard no mustache. Because it can take someone who is handsome and doing beard but no mustache and make them so unattractive. And it's a damn shame.
It Yeah, and it's
My
because of
priorities
this.
are you're making all these handsome men look horrible.
Yeah, the reasons why they cut sometimes they cut mustache completely is because the hadith says cut the mustache short and leave the beard, and some Muslims are like, okay, short. There's no way that it could get shorter than cutting it completely. So that's why they think they like if I get the mustache big enough and the mustache short enough, the shorter the mustache and bigger the beard, the more Muslim I am.
Yeah.
So,
And it's a damn shame.
right.
Sometimes I'm like, man, if they just let the mustache grow out, like
Yeah.
it it would help the situation so much. You know what I mean? Like just the beard but no mustache. Cause one time I had an ex-boyfriend that accidentally he like was doing his beard and then he like accidentally took off part of his mustache. So he had to do the full thing. He had to take off the full mustache. So it was just like beard but
Mhm.
no mustache. And I was like, fuck, this knocks you down like a solid 2 points.
Right.
I was like, "Oh man, some people have to do this. That's so
Like
I don't know,
this. I
it's
mean,
so silly,
this
but
guy.
I don't know, it's a silly opinion I have.
Look at this guy, for example. Yeah, and yeah. So, I mean, this guy is still trimming his beard, so that's not right. Or
Yeah.
like this. Like this is
Oh,
very
not
short
now, man.
mustache. Yeah. These are still somewhat trimming their beard, so it's still not
Yeah.
completely okay. Yeah. Anyways, let's go back.
And I'm like, the lack of a mustache, it's a damn shame. It's a damn
But you know
shame.
how sometimes Taliban does certain things, and I'm like, okay, this is not Islam. This is just the Taliban.
Yeah.
This is not, but here, this is actually Islam. Like
Yeah.
this is completely, yeah. This is
I
the
still
true
want to know what
version
the
of Islam.
non-compliant haircut is because I'm familiar with the regulations on beard, but not about hair. Do you know, like, anything about the
Yeah,
hair?
actually, you actually let me look it up. What about? Haircuts. I have not
And
seen. I don't.
because there
I don't know
are
if I've seen.
some things that the Taliban does where I'm like, this seems less Islamic and more of you kind of enforcing Pashto culture on
Oh,
other people in Afghanistan. So I'm like, how much of this is like a Pashto thing? Like, I just have questions. I don't know. Because they definitely have their own, like, Pashto men have their own hairstyles. So is it that? I don't know. I'm just speculating.
okay. I found the hadith. The hadith. There is a hadith that is against qaza. So
What?
qaza in Islam is the type of haircut. It's called partial shaving. So, for example, like my hair right now, you see,
Oh, the
this is short
fade.
and the rest is long. Yes. So basically, the Prophet forbade qaza. So apparently, there's hadith on this is Sahih Muslim on hairstyles as well. Qaza is shaving part of the head, leaving parts unshaved. So apparently, you either have to have your hair long, or if you want to cut, you have to go bald. You either cut the entirety or leave the entirety. You cannot do cut parts and then leave parts.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So this is on
Damn.
Islam. What I have is on Islamic right now.
You can't do a fade?
You can't do a fade.
That sucks because some barbers can do absolute magic with that fade.
So the Prophet himself apparently sometimes had longer hair and sometimes shorter hair, depending on the time, but never cut areas completely. So partial cuts are un-Islamic, apparently.
I still learn things every day. Still learn things every day.
Oh yeah.
Zaid is saying in
Look at this.
Arabic it's this. Can you read that?
Oh, Gaz. Wait, hold on. Is that a gain or an ain? Is that ain? Gaz. Gaz. Oh, Gaza. Gaza. Ga- Gaza. Gaza. Is that right? Can you put
Wait, what?
the vowels on, Zaid? I think it's Gaza. Oh, so the last sound is Gaza, like that. Haircuts
Yeah.
that are considered Gaza were banned in my school when I was a kid. Oh, okay. Okay. Gaza. Okay, Gaza. Thank you, Amir, as well.
Wow.
So interesting. Okay, I didn't. This was banned in my school in Iran as well. I just didn't know the hadith for it.
Wow. Wow.
Mm.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was
By
very
the way,
interesting.
guys, see, this is Islam is not just limiting. This like woman. Okay, we're like, oh, this is oppressive to women. You have to wear the hijab. Men's look is monitored and as well. Especially it was very annoying for us as teenagers because teenage boys, like we're like look we're trying to attract girls and we're trying to have the best hairstyles and stuff, and the school made us cut our entire hair short, and we
Damn.
hated that. We're like, how we have no game with like bald fucking heads, like what the fuck. Like like this is difficult. How do we do this? Oh, there's
Dude,
more
and you're
comments
you're
here.
like a 90s kid, you know? So like they had some cool hairstyles back then. And what was trendy and
Yeah.
you were restricted.
Yeah, we had just like I there were some girls that I had specific crushes on, and then every time summer ended and we had to go back to school, and the school forced us to cut our hair, I would try to not I will always make sure that she doesn't see me throughout the entire school year until summer comes. Yeah, I was trying like every time she, even though I had a crush on her, if there was a party or something, I would not go there because I didn't want her to see me like that. I would just wait for summer holidays so I could grow back my hair, and then so I could see her like that.
Oh my god. Okay, but speaking of
Yeah.
90s male hairstyles, what is Mufti Armin? I have a question for you. Mufti Armin, I need your ruling. Um, what is the opinion? What is the Islamic opinion on frosted tips? When guys would just bleach the tips of their hair, so they got the little frosted tips.
Yeah, I don't think that's allowed. I think Islam has coloring, but the red coloring, you're supposed to color, especially your beard red, because Muhammad did that,
Yeah.
right? Let me actually look up the hadith.
Are frosted
Uh,
tips haram?
I think so. Let me
What
see.
would Mufti Armin say about in sync hairstyle?
The Prophet. So here's the thing. The Prophet said, change this white hair, but avoid black dye. So narrated by Anas ibn Malik, Sibir father who had white hair. Okay, so apparently, Abu Bakr's father had white hair, and Muhammad saw him, and he like, yo, you need to color that white hair, but don't color it black. So I don't know what.
Mm,
So black dye is apparently disagreed upon. Many scholars prohibit using black dye based on this and other hadiths. Some allow it except for deceit, like tricking somebody in marriage or battle. What? How do you trick somebody in battle with black dye? Natural dyes like henna and katam were used by the Prophet. So Muhammad colored his hair, and here's a hadith by Abu Dawud said the best thing with which to change the white hair is henna or katam. Okay, so apparently Muhammad, when he had white hair, he didn't like that he had white hair, so he did color his
mm.
hair. So yeah, hair dye is allowed. Black dye is controversial and not allowed, looked down upon. Dyeing to deceive is not allowed. So if you're getting married and you're trying to color your hair to deceive your age, that is not allowed.
Oh.
Mm.
I mean, out of everything that actually has a little bit of logic to it.
Yeah. Right.
Wow, this is so interesting.
Mhm.
All of the there's also, I don't know if people know this, but there's a lot of like rulings on women and their eyebrows.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that are you should be avoided because your wuzu, for example, if you color your nails, then when you're doing the wuzu for praying, then the water is not going to be touching the parts of your skin that it's supposed to be, and that would make your prayers invalid. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of different rulings on that. We could
I
get
get
this a lot of detail.
advertisements for this like Muslim product where it's like all of these little rings that stick on the very tips of your fingers, like right here. And the
Mm,
rings have like fake nails on them.
mm.
So Muslim women can like have these little rings that look like they have like their
Ah,
nails done with
nails.
shellac, but they can pop them all off
Take it off.
right before doing their
Ah.
prayers.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting.
Ah.
And yeah, I think I've seen something like that on somewhere, but didn't notice what they were. Okay.
Durga's
Okay.
also saying, I have also gotten those nail ring ads.
Yeah. All right. We have only a few more minutes,
Oh
so
yeah.
let's do the super chats. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Um, Gasian is saying, if I am to be regarded as a fascist, then know that fascists have lost and will lose, for I have bent my knee to a liberal and swore oaths of love and family.
Okay.
He's like, look,
Good.
you guys might think I'm 1984, but I have, given fealty. Um, Gasian is saying, am I a shark? Uh,
Y-
oh, meaning
Probably.
because you can't grow a beard? You're just too baby smooth.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Baby shark. Baby.
Also,
No.
Arkansas is
No.
trying
That's
to ban gender non-conforming haircuts. House Bill 1668. Well, good luck trying to pass that. That doesn't make any sense.
yeah. Good luck with that.
And gave a
The
super
do do do
chat.
do song is not in my head, by the way. Thank you.
I know that
As soon as yeah.
thank yourself. That's your fault. Saying what is women's clothes in Islam versus men's clothes? Well, that's a very extensive question.
Oh yeah. So mostly, I'll give you the short version. Women are supposed to cover um head to ankle. Only the parts that could be seen is this, hands and feet. but also the feet. You can't have any jewelry on your ankles that could make sound unless you're in private outside, because that could tempt
Because
people.
the sounds of your anklets,
Okay.
the sounds of the jewelry
Anklets,
on your ankles could be arousing.
arousing.
It could turn
I
people
mean,
on. So you can't have that.
I mean,
Also,
I
no
mean, I could see
perfume.
that. Yeah, no perfect. I mean, you can't do all of this in your home for your husband, but not outside.
Sure.
Also, men's hijab are from the knee. I think, where is it? To a,
No, my understanding is that it's
belly button,
belly button to knee.
belly button to knee. Yes, yes. So you should be. Oh, by the way, by woman I meant a free woman. A slave woman do not have that requirement. Slave women could actually walk around topless in
Yeah.
Islam. And
Durga's saying
Carl,
she's offended by the ban on anklets. Yeah, girl, they're too
yeah.
sexy. You can't have that.
By the way, I made a mistake. I said slave women cannot are allowed to have no hijab. Actually, sorry, slave women is beyond. Slave women
They're not allowed.
should not wear the hijab. Yeah.
Yeah.
So slave women in Islam are not allowed to wear the hijab. They actually should not be covered.
It's literally a way to distinguish between which are your wives and which are your slaves.
Yes.
And
Oh, we are
Carl
late.
gave a super sticker with no comment. Thank you, Carl. Thank you for
Thank you,
supporting the
Carl.
show. And thank you to everyone else who's a member and gave super chats that supported the show, because it's literally how we make everything happen. So thank you.
Yes, yes, and consider becoming a member. And even if you don't do that, at least like the stream. Liking the stream really, really helps this channel. Okay, guys, I have to end the stream or else we're going to be late. I'm going to have more streams coming for you soon, so make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell notification, and make sure you like the stream. Leave a comment. Your comments are very helpful to grow the channel, and I'll read as many of them as I can. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.